Well, Chelsea making sneaky manoeuvres in the background to prevent Barcelona from taking one of their assets. Ooh la la, welcome back to Football Therapy, ladies and gentlemen, with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. And yes, welcome back to Chelsea News. We are discussing about Chelsea quietly activating a clause in Matson's contract to stave off interest from Barcelona. We are talking about what's actually going on with Reece James and his injury. Of course, lots of people speculating that he is just going to continue to be injured for all of time. He's doing social media posts saying, thank you for your patience. Chelsea aren't posting about his injuries on their injury reports on their website, yet he's also pictured in training. What's going on there? We'll also read an article from Nazar Kinsella about that. So Kinsella covering both these stories. Also, Mohamed Kudus, remember the Ajax winger that we wanted to buy that ended up going to West Ham, didn't he? His agent talking about what actually happened between Chelsea because there was a contract agreed. Ooh! Right, we're going to hop into it now. We can start on Kudus, I think. A quick reminder, a quick thank you to those of you who are supporting the content, and a reminder to drop a like. It takes a millisecond and it helps the channel, and if you want, only if you want to, you are welcome to subscribe to this channel. Now, the Mail of Sport reporting this, so it's Mohamed Kudus' agent. He said this, quote, "We agreed the contract with Chelsea. He talked to the coach, Pochettino, but it didn't happen because Chelsea made a ridiculous offer to Ajax. They did this with a lot of players during the summer, making low offers to clubs that they knew wouldn't be accepted. The truth is, they were focused on the transfer of Moises Caicedo. It took up all their energy. First of all, we don't care. I'm very pleased with the signing of Cole Palmer. Fits the bill precisely, looks incredibly talented. He plays on the right wing, in the number 10 spot in the hole, which is what Pochettino wanted. He's a left footer. He looks so appropriate for the project long term. So first of all, we don't care. But secondly, and interestingly, what makes me a little bit shocked or raising an eyebrow on this is that why Chelsea making ridiculously low offers everywhere, though they are also willing to pay ridiculously high sums of money for footballers as well. You know, I mean, let's think about the highest. Obviously, there's the two midfielders. Yes, they're both quality. Yes, they're both necessary. Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. I think Enzo Fernandez, £105 million, 30 million up front. The rest of the payments over several years. World Cup winner, best young player, the tournament winner. Great performances in the Champions League for Benfica. Fine. I kind of get that. I kind of get it. Moises Caicedo for £115 million, no Champions League experience, not a World Cup winner. Premier League experience granted, but for me that was the massive overpay. But he's an excellent player, and I'm glad we've got him, right? But why were everywhere else? Are they thinking, well, we've been, we're paying insane amounts of money for these two players. Let's just offer really low amounts of money elsewhere. Look, you're never going to get Cole Palmer for, next to nothing to convince Man City to sell their academy star boy. So to be honest, 40 million quid, it's kind of like, fair enough. It's, 50 million quid, you'd be like, what? 30 million quid, you'd be like, yes. So 40 million quid's kind of like, fair enough, everyone's happy. I've said it before, it's kind of, the business that we've done with Man City, it's all kind of fair. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, Raheem Sterling cost 47 million. He'd won 4 Premier Leagues, consistent goal scorer in his prime, 27 years old. So on all that alone, you'd be like, well, 80 million pounds. But because he had 12 months left on his deal, 47 million, everyone's happy. Similar, 12 months left on his deal, a little bit older. Kovacic, 30 million. Obviously, it's not goal scoring or assisting midfielder, so it kind of makes sense. And Cole Palmer, everyone's really happy. These amounts of money, they make any sense, So, why we're offering, what would we have offered Ajax for Kudus that was insulted them? 15 million or something? But then went to go and pay much, much more for Cole Palmer. Kudus had spoken to Pochettino. Maybe Pochettino was like, yeah, he's pretty good, but he's not the one. And then after he looked at Cole Palmer, He went, he's the one, Robbie Williams, Angels, and then they were like, all right, we'll pay the 40 million quid for him. Anyway, agents, chatting breeze, yes again. Let me know what you think about Kudus. And of course, I'd like to think everyone's happy with Cole Palmer. Are you happy with Cole Palmer as the purchase we ended up with getting for that kind of profile? Comment down below. Nizar Kinsella writes on the Standard about Reece James. Captain Reece James is a major doubt to face Arsenal after suffering an injury setback. Well, we need to talk about this. The defender has withdrawn from group sessions and is training alone at Cobham ahead of Arsenal's visit to Stamford Bridge. Mauricio Pochettino has hoped to reintroduce his star defender to full intensity training following a hamstring injury suffered in August. James is optimistic he has avoided a more major setback, but his return is now likely to be delayed. Gusto will be available, of course, having served his 3-month ban following his red card against Villa. The 20-year-old returns to London on Wednesday, making his senior debut for France. Yeah, which is making him feel good. Bruyere and Chukwuemeka are also doubts to face Arsenal, have had setbacks. Bruyere had a small reaction after returning from 10 months. Of course, he came back into the side, scored, but he's had a bit of a reaction since. Nicholas Jackson will likely start up front, you would say. I will do a match preview tomorrow for this game, so keep a look for that. But let's talk about Reece quickly. Yeah, this is super frustrating. First of all, poor guy, don't get angry at a man or a young man for being injured. Be sympathetic. Be empathetic. The dude wants to play football. He wants to play for Chelsea. He is injured. That sucks. An injury sucks generally, but when it prevents you from doing your work, your passion, it's double sucky. Right, so let's just remember that there's a human being involved and he's injured here. Now let's talk about us. This is annoying for us, the fans. Super annoying. I commented on Instagram. By the way, at Football Yannick on Instagram, we're closing in on 30,000 followers, which for me is a lot. I think 30,000 is a lot. At Football Yannick on Instagram. Come join my friends. Come be one of my friends. I said, look, we need to get this guy some bionic hamstrings. I've been playing a lot of Lies of P recently, so I'm thinking, let's get him some Geppetto mechanical hamstrings here, and we can get him going again. Oh man, thank the Lord that we have Malo Gusto available, a really, really capable deputy. Obviously, like Nizar writes there, he's just made his debut for the France first team at 20, which is pretty decent, to be honest. Yes, that is, his confidence will be high. He was playing well for Chelsea before that tackle. It was one of those tackles that, it was controversial because it could have gone both ways. There was another tackle like that in, who was it, Liverpool? Was it Curtis Jones who did the same thing, got the ball, went over the ball, got the player, got a red. So it happened multiple times. Anyway, he's back. I don't want to say he's learnt from that because I think it's an unlucky red card because you get the ball and then your foot rolls over. So I don't even think he needs to have learned. Just don't overthink it. Just carry on doing what you're doing and that almost certainly won't happen again. Right. Malo Gusto is good to come in, but Reece James is really, really frustrating. I am kind of thinking, John Terry said on social media, you need your captain on the pitch. He needs to be a player that plays game in, game out. Was he thinking, because I think someone said, Thiago Silva, if he doesn't play every game. Thiago Silva so far has been playing every game, and Reece James hasn't. Granted, Silva's English is limited. I think Thiago Silva kind of thought, yeah, I'm not going to learn English. Which is kind of fair enough, to be honest. The dude he obviously speaks Portuguese, he learned Italian for Milan, and then he learned French, he's for PSG, so he's fluent in 3 languages. Knows a few words in English, but he probably thought, you know what, I'm 36, and this is when he turned up. He's like, I'm done learning languages, I can speak to pretty much most of the Chelsea people anyway in different languages. And you can speak in sort of broken Spanish, whatever, is similar, isn't it, to Portuguese, I believe. So you think maybe Thiago Silva, I don't know. Am I worrying about the wrong thing, that the captain's not being on the pitch? The vice captain's not on the pitch either, and Ben Chilwell. So Captain Conor Gallagher is going to lead us to glory. God bless him. And to be honest, he's probably the most appropriate candidate out there right now to be captain Conor Gallagher, which is, again, there's such a peculiar twist of events when we were not desperate, but so ready to sell him in the summer. Funny turn of events indeed. Look, thank goodness Malo Gusto's there. Malo Gusto can just lock down that right back spot until Reece is just 1,000% ready. But I do worry. We spoke about this recently. Again, I spoke about this on Instagram. I was just calling for examples of players that are going through something like Reece, of a ability level of Reece, and then coming back, and people said Iron Robin, Harry Kane, you know, lots of injury problems when they're young and they sort it out as they grow old. Let me know what you think about Reece's injury, man. Look, we're not going to sell Reece James before people are like, oh, you got to sell him. We're not going to sell Reece James. Just let me know your thoughts. Come on, football therapy session in the comments section. Let's move on. So Chelsea, apparently, and this is an exclusive from Nizar Kinsella, Barcelona have been eyeing a transfer for Ian Matson, free transfer. Apparently, they've been planning it, and that is so Barcelona. Hashtag Brocolona. My hand looks really red there. My cat's been biting it a little bit, but my hand does not look red in this, but on the... Okay. Anyway, yeah, Brocolona, it doesn't surprise me at all. They want Ian Matson. They just love everything Chelsea, don't they? They just want to be us. Oh, you want to buy Jules Koundé? We'll buy him. You want to buy Rafinha? We'll buy him. Oh, let's have Alonso. Let's have Azpilicueta. I think even though he went to Atletico. Look, Nizar Kinsella writes this on The Standard. Chelsea have quietly activated an option to extend Ian Matson's contract by a further year amid reported interest from Barcelona. Ooh, the 21-year-old's contract situation is attracting suitors, but Chelsea have strengthened their position to extend his deal until 2025. Barcelona were keen to sign Matson on a free transfer, according to reports in Spain, and could have been able to negotiate the deal from January, but they are now paying a substantial fee, with competition coming from Premier League clubs including West Ham and, of course, Burnley. Burnley agreed £31.5 million deal for Matson, which again is an incredible deal really for Chelsea, especially if you're not going to play him as a left back, if you're going to play him as like a third choice attacking mid in a transitional side. And again, I hate to use that alliteration, two words, but pure profit is a massive allure, huge allure to clubs like Man City getting pure profit for Cole Palmer. Do you know what I mean? It's just really like a great opportunity for selling clubs. The Dutch Youth International rejected a return to his former loan club, Smart, with West Ham stopping short of making any offers and failed to sell Aaron Cresswell. Yeah, okay, I think Smart, Ian Matson, not going to Burnley because look at Burnley. Standard Sport understands Matson has also rejected two Chelsea contract offers in recent weeks. Really, wow. His hesitancy is due, in part, to just the 83 minutes played in the league. Yeah, and this makes in total sense, because you know that you're only signing a deal to be sold, because you're not played. If he was being played a bit more, he'd be like, okay, I got a chance to play for Chelsea here. So the alternative is, so you might have been thinking, well, just sign the deal anyway. You know, you're not being played anyway. At least get this financial security in your job. No, because if he doesn't sign, more clubs will be in for him. Better clubs, because he's a really good acquisition at that point. And also, he gets a sign-on fee. If he goes somewhere as a free transfer, he gets to just slam dunk a few million quid in his bank as a signing-on fee and not be held hostage by Chelsea. So yeah, big time. Levi Colwill has started in his favoured left-back position during the 2 months of Chelsea's campaign. Further competition, of course, with Ben Chilwell and Marc Cucurella. Cucurella looking like a backup right back at the moment. Matson appears to be willing to wait and see if he can make inroads with convincing Pochettino and the club officials before inviting offers, with 18 months now left on his contract. He will likely only feature from the bench against Arsenal, with Chelsea currently 11th in the Premier League. Yes, featuring from the bench, and you know that it will be in probably a left wing position, maybe right wing, I don't know. Will it even be anywhere? So at the moment we pay 4-3-3. So we're not playing a 4-2-3-1, therefore there's no number 10, which Matson did play in pre-season. You got to play on the left wing or the right wing. And at the moment, you'd have to say his fourth choice probably at the moment, you'd have to say because the first choice wingers are Cole Palmer and Raheem Sterling. The third choice winger is Mykhailo Mudryk. And then the fourth choice winger is either Ian Matson or Noni Madueke. And with how Noni Madueke has been playing, especially the international break, 3 goals in 2 games, you'd have to maybe put him fourth choice winger, which would make Matson fifth choice winger in a 4-3-3 system. So yes, you can completely understand why the Dutch international is interested in going, but it's intelligent from Chelsea to obviously trigger this clause. They're probably always going to do it. But it's interesting. It is oh so interesting that Barcelona want him. To be honest, I'm not sure how that interesting it is. Barcelona want everything to do with... They just want to beat us, man. Which I think is... I don't know. I mean, Chelsea have been there hanging around for a little while now to be exploited. How could I forget Andreas Christensen on a free as well, which Chelsea have real fears of anything like that happening again. This is why they're just desperate to flog young players and not have them run down their contracts. Look, Ian Matson, man, he is a good player. Looked like he could be something really good in pre-season. He still could be. You don't know until, like, you know. Do you know what I mean? You know? And I don't even fully know. He's only 21. He got player of the team of the season last campaign when they won the championship. Clearly just not seen as a left back by Pochettino, and that's a profile thing. And that's largely probably because at the moment in this current Chelsea Pochettino system, the left back plays in a certain way that it lends itself mostly to a centre-back in Levi Colwill. So, you know, if he's not really thinking Chilwell is going to play there that well, and Chilwell is a left-back. Like, Chilwell has just always been a left-back. He got moved into left wing-back, which suited him because he's really good at making those offensive inverted runs to score goals. And when you're a wing-back, you have more license to do that because there's an extra defender behind you. But he is a left-back, make no bones about it, that's his position. So no one can tell him he's not a left-back. But, he did play there a couple of times for Poch, but even Poch was like, what I want to do lends itself to Levi Colwill playing in that position. So if that's the case, then Matson, like, look, bro, you ain't got, you're just not going to play at left back. You are a talented ball-playing footballer with a good left foot, so therefore we can play you in the free behind the striker in a 4-2-3-1. But at the moment, I feel like don't think that there's a future for Matson at Chelsea. Let me know what you think about Ian Matson. And I think we'll wrap it up there. I'll be very interested in reading your comments, as I always am when we spoke about Matson wanted by Barcelona, Chelsea sneakily extending his deal. Reece James, the Reece James situation. It's a sad situation. Yeah, man. So please do comment all your thoughts down below. I thank you again for joining the Football Therapy community by subscribing. If you want more interactive content from me, do follow me on Instagram @FootballYannick. And I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.